So you're starting on your lock journey and you're not sure where to begin. Choosing a stylist, knowing exactly what types of locks that you want, all of these things can be very confusing and can stop you from continuing on your lock journey. My name is Clarissa. I'm a natural hair care specialist and lock consultant for 20 plus years. And I'm here to share with you my top pointers for picking out your loctician on your lock journey. All right, so let's get started. I have some notes here, so you'll see me looking down quite often. First, who to ask. The first people that I would recommend anybody looking to have their locks installed to ask would be, of course, the people around you, coworkers, family and friends, roommates, people walking down the street. You see their locks, you think they're beautiful, you think they're healthy, you're thinking that you want your locks to look like that someday. Go up to them, ask them, you know, where did you get your locks done? How long have you had your locks? Do you like your stylist? That's the best way, I think, is person to person because you can have a conversation with that person and just get a feel for their experience with that loctician. If they say, oh, they're great, they're wonderful, let me give you their card. I've been going to them for years. They've always done me right. All those things are good. Next, I would recommend that you look on pages, of course, like TikTok, Style Seat, Facebook, local pages that have hair pages. All those things are wonderful. You're going to want to look at their pictures. You're going to want to look through them and make sure that their work is consistent. Make sure that they have a good handful of lock styles in their portfolio. A good handful of lock clients, not just, style clients, but lock clients that they've started from beginning to end. The next thing you're going to do, you're going to try and get a consult with this stylist that you think that you're going to want to go to. So if you can get a consult over the phone, wonderful. If you can get like a FaceTime, that's even better. Face to face is the best to me. When a client comes in, you can see and judge their hair against what their desire is. So someone may want their locks to look like Chloe Bailey's or some picture they saw, and they could be showing you this picture, and you're looking at the client like, honestly, you're not going to be able to achieve their locks because your hair is totally different. That doesn't mean you're not going to have beautiful locks. They just may not look like that. So, a stylist that is honest with you and is going to let you know, can your locks actually look like this person's or not, or around what they look like, is very important. Honesty, good communication. It is the best thing for any relationship. I mean, outside of a stylist or whatever, communication is the best and the most important thing. So they need to communicate all of that to you. When you look at their pictures, you should be asking them, did you start these locks from start to end? Or are you just styling them? They should have a good handful of people that they've actually started from beginning to end, because it's a different process. If I get someone who's had a different optician, and there's things that I have to fix, or there's things that they weren't happy with that I have to fix, and we're working with that, and that's reflected in the pictures, where you can see, where we're fixing these locks. But yes, I'm in the middle of fixing them and cultivating now so they can look the best that they can. But when this person came to me, they didn't look the best that they can. Excuse me. So when you are looking at the pictures, you're going to want to ask questions like that. How many people have you started? Is this a person that you started? How about this one? How about this one? It's just a good way for you to clock in your brain. Okay, this person really doesn't have as much experience, or they do have as much experience as I would like them to have. So it's just a good gauge, you to know, okay, I can trust this person, or I'm not so sure. I'd rather go to someone that's had more experience with locks. Okay, so they should be asking you questions. If your stylist is not asking you a ton of questions, then they're not going to know how to work with your hair. Have you had locks before? That's a good indication of, okay, I know that this client knows exactly what they're getting into. We can refresh exactly how to take care of them. We can refresh how I'm going to be, but they basically know the journey of growing locks. So, have you had locks before? How long have you had them? What was the issue with your last set of locks? Why did you cut them off? Or why are you starting a new set of locks? All those questions are very important. What size would you like? Some people go to locticians, they don't even ask them what size they want. They just start putting locks in their head. It doesn't make any sense to me. Because then they're coming to me saying, my locks were put in, but they're an inch and a half bigger than I desired. Well, did your loctician ask you what size you wanted? No, not really. Yeah, that's a problem. You got to ask the person what size they want. um, that's gonna that's going to tell you how to do your partings. Someone with a dense head of hair is not going to have the same size partings as someone with thin hair, because the outcome will not be the same. The amount of hair in the lock will not be the same. So those questions are important. What size would you like? What type of locks would you like? Someone could be well versed in doing traditional locks, just twisting it and going. Some people may know how to do sister locks. I'm a trained sister locks consultant. So interlocking, micro locks, wicks, organic locks. There's so many different types of locks. If they're not asking you what type of locks you want, red flag. Go out of there, find someone else. Like I said, the type of partings. I generally do moon partings and box partings, which I believe are really the only two types of partings. So box partings are just straight up like box braids. Box partings, moon partings, there's a curve to them, and they would fall differently than box partings would. And when you style them, they're going to look different. With the boxes, you're going to see straight grid. With moon, they're just going to fall more organically where you don't see a straight grid, but they still look beautiful the way that they fall really, really naturally. That's what I like about moon partings. But if your stylist doesn't know that, they're just going to give you box braids, box partings off the rip, not knowing that you could have a different type of parting that will give you a different type of look when your locks fall. So that's an important question. The other question that they need to ask you or you need to communicate to them is if you have any type of hair or scalp conditions. So, some people may have scalp conditions. I don't know if it's alopecia, it could be psoriasis, it could be they have to literally get injections of um, steroids in their scalp. I've had that before where people have had scalp infections where they've had to continuously get injections. And I eventually had to say, I can't do your locks anymore just because the condition of your scalp, your skull, your scalp is not conducive to me being able to touch your head. I've had people with open wounds. Just let your stylist know if you have any conditions. You can work something out where, okay, well, my doctor said that the treatment would work this way, and I'll be able to not have these treatments anymore this date. Okay, well, I'm going to revisit you at that date because I'm not starting something over a scalp that's not healthy. Or I could be the one to know exactly what your scalp needs. My scalp has these dry patches on it. I'm not sure. I can recommend you the natural oils that will heal that right away, where you don't have to go to a doctor necessarily. And, it's just important to know exactly what your style's dealing with or what you're dealing with personally. You don't want to get months into getting your locks done and then something pops up and you're like, oh my gosh, and then you have to get your locks cut off. You don't want that to happen. Any scalp conditions, let them know. Okay, the next thing would be basically the end of your consult. You're going to sum up what time, how long it's going to take, how many visits will be necessary, what your investment financially is going to look like. You need to know all these things because you don't want to get into getting your hair done and then not know that you can't afford to continue the proper upkeep, you know? Or you guys could be working out something where I'm going to show you how to take care of your own locks. You just need me to install them. You need to consult with me from home every now and then, but you don't necessarily want to rely on me. And I'm totally cool with that. I'm all about letting people take control and ownership over getting their hair done. That's such a plus to be able to teach someone to take care of their own locks. That's really good. But, it's just all about communication. So I hope that you have enjoyed all of my tips. I really, really hope that I've been helpful to at least one person out there. If I was, please comment below and like the video, share it with someone that is starting on their lock journey. And I will see you the next time on Clarissa Explains.